Rooted in resilience, inspired by nature, powered by movement. The podcasts where healing meets empowerment. Let's rise and thrive together. And now, here are your hosts, Scott and Melissa.
Welcome back. Rise and Thrive, a podcast by Vital Edge Wellness Coaching, to all of our peoples out there listening, watching. Today is going to be an interesting topic. We're talking about letting go of outcomes, not being attached
Release
to
the
outcomes.
attachment to the outcome.
Yeah, release the attachment to outcomes. All
Let
of
it
the
go.
above. All the above. How do we let things go, and how do we let it flow if it doesn't work out the way we want it to?
Oh yeah, release the attachment to the outcome, but still have that vision, right?
Yeah.
Like we did in our last episode about intentions.
Yes.
You want to still have that intention, but at the same time, letting go of the attachment of how we think
That's right.
it should be.
How you think or how we think?
No, well, I was going to say who says it? Hold on. Is it Dalai Lama or Thich Nhat Hanh? Says when we, that is like the root of suffering, is wanting things to be different than the way they are.
Right.
Right? Can't remember who I'm quoting, but one of them.
It's a good quote.
Yes. So there's the suffering is when but before we do that, we're going to pause.
We're going to pause.
We're going to breathe. And I want you to release the attachment to the outcome of this. I also want you to release the anticipation of what I'm going to say or when it's going to be over. Because my partner here thinks I don't know how to count a minute. So we will pause. I take a big sigh, please. Let it go. Practice right there. You're able to close your eyes. Let's practice just this simple thing. Let your eyes relax and feel your eyes turn inward. Essentially, you're letting go of the tension held around your eyes. Literally feel how you can feel. Even if the eyes are open, you can soften the eyeball. And feel that sensation, potentially, of looking in. Relaxing your jaw and softening your tongue. And hang out for a moment with the inhale and the exhale. And in particular, just like the eyes dropping in, feel your exhale, sense your exhale, inviting you to drop in. Notice if one of those attachments to outcome came through, and just let it float on by. Come back for just a few more moments. Sensing that quality of your exhale that offers you to come right here, right now, and to drop in. And let that nice sigh move through once again, please. And open your eyes if they were closed to just a soft gaze. Eyes a little bit more relaxed, I hope.
Very nice.
Oh. So how do you release attachment to outcome?
I just say no.
Why did you say no? Well, let's talk about what does it mean.
Okay.
What does it mean to release the attachment?
I have been practicing this for a very long time. Not my whole life. I had to learn this.
Of course.
Releasing attachment to outcome does not mean you don't have goals or that you're not intentional.
Bingo.
Or you don't have a path. It means that whatever outcomes appear, when they are not the right outcomes or they're not a fit, you're able to let those go. And I believe that unless you can let those go, you can't find the right outcome because you're attached to the wrong outcome.
Right.
And as I've said before on this show and for my whole life, I consider myself to be a pivot master. Some things are harder to pivot away from or toward than others. I just know that we're never there. We're never done. There's always another outcome to come. And so I think that's my definition of releasing attachment to outcome and knowing that it's a journey. And I'm excited about what the next outcome can be, even if I might be disappointed that the outcome wasn't what I thought it was going to be in the moment. What's your definition?
Well, hence what I was just saying a moment ago about the attachment to wanting it to be a certain way. And if it's not, that's why I want to come back to releasing even the label of good, bad, because even when something happens along your intention, you have goals, visions of where you want to go. I've practiced for myself, like even when there's the yucky pieces that often would be labeled as yucky, that those are actually the meaningful pieces as well. So I embrace it as reflection. Yes. And I want to back up. For me, thinking about release of the attachment to the outcome is backing up to literally, I feel like a broken record, coming back to the present moment. So I can have a goal and a vision, but be open to how that will appear. And as I continue to do the work versus expecting or wanting it to be a certain way. And if it's not, then I think I've failed or I think it's not working. I know that it's still in progress in some way, shape or form. I've found that to be better for myself in my world to believe that even if it's these ups and downs, this is part of the journey of whatever's evolving for my greatest and highest good.
Right.
So it has actually been a very big relief for me to release the attachment to the outcome and a teaching that I've provided for my clients. Because a good example, just real quick.
We got time.
But right, I get somebody that comes to me like, I want to lose weight, right? That's an easy one. And right away, I often will share that I had to train doctors early on when I'd have them send people to me like, oh, the doctor said I'm supposed to lose weight. And I was like, so not putting doctors down, please, just saying that as I had to train my colleagues out there that I'm not a weight loss person. That is a byproduct of what we'll do if that's meant to be for that body. And so I often find people get so attached to what they've been told or they think will make them happier. And weight's just the one thing I'm using right now. It could be anything, right? Put it in its place. You could be thinking what it is for you. And I could watch this person, for example, improve all these beautiful things in their life. Even the rougher times, they're able to handle better. They're dealing with things better. They're sleeping better. They're nourished better. Their relationship is better and all of this. And because they then got on the scale and the number didn't change, they're like, oh, this is crap. I failed. This isn't working.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Excuse me. Take a look. And so I learned early on in my work that I started watching this. And I'm like, what about all this other beautiful way of living?
You're stronger.
And all of these things, right?
Yeah. Eating better.
And when I supported people to release that attachment to that one thing, and again, weight's just an easy thing to use because many people can relate to it.
Yeah.
But I could say it's like, I'm going to run that marathon, right? That attachment to that outcome. But let's say along the way, you find that it's not good for your body. You're feeling that, oh, this is really And so you turned it into, mountain biking, right? You found or something like that.
Or a half marathon or a
right?
5K, right? Yeah.
You release the attachment to that one pointed focus, which isn't necessarily bad. Sometimes that, a lot of people, I know a couple of my clients that like to have, benchmarks. Like if I have something to work towards, gives them a little motivation. It's like, great. At the same time, enjoy the journey and release that. I need to do that to be happy. I need to, because we all know, I'm going to go back to the weight thing. We've had plenty of experience, maybe ourselves or other people in our life, where they've lost the weight and they're still not happy.
Yeah.
But they thought, or they get the new car and then they'll be happy, or the new relationship and then they'll be happy. What's that quote? I'm quoting people. Wherever you go, there you are. That's who's that? I know this. I could see the book. Anyways. Oh, it's going to bother me now. It'll come to me. It'll come pop in. But basically, it's, wherever you go, there you are. You're taking you wherever it is. So if you think this one thing's going to solve it and make it all better. So what I love to say is when I personally release that attachment, I'm like more present. I'm with what is. It doesn't mean I still don't have visions or things I'm working towards, but I'm open to how it may be different than what I think.
And it doesn't mean you won't have emotional reactions to those changes in the moment.
Right.
So disappointment or sadness or whatever it may be, if it's not the outcome you envisioned. I think about sports. And I'm a long-suffering Trailblazer fan. And I'm not as attached to outcome anymore that they're going to win a championship after 45 years of not winning a championship.
And when they do, you'll be like, yay, look at that.
My outcome was a little pushed out, right? The attachment.
Right.
But I think that's a great analogy of people who, punch walls and break things when their teams lose.
Yeah.
They're so attached to an outcome that they don't know what to do.
It becomes visceral
when it doesn't happen. And we do that to ourselves in micro ways every day. I've been struggling to find time to work out. My whole routine has changed. The day slips away and I'm pissed. I got to change my attachment to outcome because what I've been doing or not doing, other things have taken precedent. And not to say that those things aren't super important, because they are. Caregiving and building a business and taking care of mom and all the other things.
Right. We all got all the things.
We all got all the things.
Yeah.
But my outcome, I'm disappointed at my attachment to the outcome when it doesn't happen. And so that can be another trap. Discuss.
Discuss. What do you want me to discuss?
Well, I think it's a double-edged sword.
It is.
Because when you don't hit your intention, that is an attachment to an outcome.
Well, and that's what I think is that's what I think I'm getting to, and what we're getting to is the practice of having the vision, but being able to release the attachment to the specific details.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that in lies the suffering.
Right.
Right? Because if that particular detail X, Y, and Z doesn't happen at what particular time that you said it was going to, then you get miffed or whatever, right? Yeah. And you're putting yourself through that stress and suffering, when ultimately the practice of, and it isn't just being flexible willy-nilly, I just see it as being open, open to see. It's like you said, excited, hopeful.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's I think about, this pops into my, what do I want to say? Like the discussion in,
you're on a roll.
I am 50. No, just kidding. Ted Lasso.
Yeah. There you go.
Talking about hope.
Yeah.
Right. I like his conversation about, he thinks hope's important. And I think we can hope for, and the positive, right? And I think, again, I'm going to go back to what I've practiced is releasing the details, the specific details, and just being open. And that's helped me feel more grounded.
I think that's great for the examples we've used so far. I think it also gets very complicated when you include others. When your when your expectation of outcomes of others is disappointing. You understand what I'm saying? When you are in partnership or collaboration with, or in a love language relationship with someone, even work colleagues, and you have this attachment to a particular outcome, and it doesn't pan out the way you wanted it to or the way you expected it to, it could be a little sticky, can't it? To pivot away from that or create a new outcome when it includes other people. Or maybe you have to decide that it doesn't include other people anymore.
Well, honestly, right? We can't control other people's behavior. So
Really?
Manipulators can.
Yeah. There seems to be a collective of that happening in the world.
I'm sorry, but you only can control yourself.
Well, you're only in charge of yourself.
Well, exactly. And to understand what you can control and can't control.
Yeah, I mean, that's another topic. We're going to use that. Control is going to be a topic.
Yes. So I go back to the present moment. I come back to that is like tapping into your innate capacity. And I often think, and I am not coming up with a specific scenario that you're describing. Like I'm thinking, okay, yeah, that would be sticky. But I come back to where we all have different lenses we're looking through. So if I can come back into the present moment and breathe and ground and see what other perspectives are or be open to that.
Yeah.
It helps me be a part of the collective that can be not that I'm going to be like the example, but I think we can set the tone and energy through nervous system and all that kind of stuff to like, okay, let's all not get stressed out and can we reground, pivot.
And be open. You know how it gets even more sticky?
Why are you being sticky?
Because we have to talk about it.
I want to release it. No,
we have to talk about it. I know. We are very clear that this is not easy.
Oh, no.
This is not anything that we're just glazing over to say, well, if you just do these things,
just release
go ahead, wave your magic wand.
Right. My clients roll their eyes because they know my words coming out. Just release it. I make fun of it now because we all know it inside. We want to do it. Release the attachment to the outcome. But there's subconsciously, we all have an attachment. We are judgers.
Well, let me give a real life example.
Okay.
Married for many years. Alzheimer's diagnosis comes in. And I have since the last 9-10 years now, it's been almost 10 years, I've had to release a lot of attachment to a lot of outcomes.
Oh, yeah.
From a whole life journey together to the housekeeping, to the things that I must do that I never envisioned I'd have to do as a caregiver.
Caregiving period, right.
And my own caregiving and her caregiving and family caregiving. This is why I say it's not easy. You need support sometimes. You need to be able to have somebody reflect back to you. You need to not get caught up in everyone else's journey in order to discover what's the new outcome I want. Because this is not what anyone ever expected. And I know you're all listening. You all have your own stories like this where you got a curveball and you had this direction. You're like, oh shit, now what do I do? How do I adjust? You have your own stuff like that too.
Right.
I had a cancer diagnosis a few years ago and it got me thinking, what have I really been focused on? Now this is all of a sudden the most important thing. And you just find your next iteration of what it is. It's not just that easy. but you got to keep going.
Well, hence the practice of, coming back, grounding yourself to the present moment, right?
And being open to the new direction, which I think is where we struggle sometimes because we've never envisioned we'd need a new direction.
Or a direction to begin with. I know some people out there,
right?
You're caught in not even tapping into your own vision and direction, and you're kind of stuck in the spiral of doing the outcomes that you think you're supposed to, and so, yeah, there's a lot we just dove into right there.
I also feel like this balance between physical, mental, and spirituality, I'll speak just for me, has got to be the full 3 legs on the floor. If any one of those are gone or chipped, my stool is leaning or I'm falling over.
Yeah.
And so I'm constantly rotating between those. If I don't do my morning meditations, everything changes for me. If I don't do my physical workouts, everything changes for me. If I don't do my reading and my mental work and my fulfillment my brain isn't being fulfilled every day in the work that I do and the people that I engage with, I'm out of sync. When you get a curveball toward an outcome, I go back to leaning on those 3 legs of the stool. That's what works for me. So what works for you when you're pivoting away from one outcome toward another? I know you're going to say present moment breathing.
Well, I'm going to sum it up. Release the attachment to the outcome. Honestly, I'll say it to myself because it just helps me remember.
Yeah, it's good.
Because subconsciously, this is where I was saying we all judge. We're human, right? We're always filtering based on what our brain has experienced, and it's trying to apply the past to the future. So when I can come back to the present moment doesn't have my past. The present moment doesn't have my future. And when I can sit in that space and take a breath and be like, oh, I see in the background, I was attached to a little bit of this outcome over here. There's where I'm feeling a little edgy, a little suffering. And I can just repeat. It's been grounding for me just to quietly say to myself, release the attachment to the outcome. And I want my clients listening to this. Every time I say it to you,
you're saying it to yourself.
I'm saying it to myself.
Same with me.
That and trust the damn process. Trust the process.
Trust the process.
Because it helps me to hear it. Because like you said, we're all got our stuff. We're all living it. And we do what we do to support people on their paths just as well as support ourselves at the same time, because that's why I think we do what we do.
Well, that's part of the reason you and I ended up together on this business venture, because we were supporting each other
to do those things.
I think another thing I want to throw in there is that when you say I'm releasing attachment to outcome, it doesn't mean you confront other people. It doesn't mean we talked a little bit about changing other people, controlling other people, because your disappointment is going to be real if it's a person-based releasing of outcome. But you can't just release them too, along with that, without engaging, without fighting, don't be a doormat. I abhor bullies. Stand up for yourself. But you don't need to stay there, be trapped in that old outcome. I just want to say that before we leave today, because that can keep you stuck in this whirlpool and you can't get out.
Well, and that's that practice of being present, because then when you practice that of connecting with your intentions and your innate wisdom, you're able to have that discernment. Is this a bully situation, or is this a situation I'm getting, or am I standing up for myself? And I think that's where we hone in those skills.
Yes. And I also think it's not just a bully situation as we're using here.
Oh yeah.
I think does this person or this relationship bring value to my life? Do they align with my values? Are they bringing value? And if you think they are, and then you get disappointed, you can release from that outcome. I think about my best friend, Mark. We go way back, and we talk about as men, we're getting older, our circles are smaller. And That's more important to us, to have a circle of influence that is meaningful and long-lasting, that can stand the test of time. And we have an understanding now of how people flow into and out of our lives, where when I was younger, I thought people would be in my life forever. Oh, these are great friends. And it's just not how it works. And so I released that attachment to that outcome, that idea that it was going to be, this is how it is. And the reality was much different, and only in hindsight. And also think about the present moment does influence your future. The past can't influence your future, but only if you're using the present moment to learn from it. But when you go in the present moment and you're not focused on the future, just that act creates a more meaningful future for you. I want to throw that in there before I lost track of that thought. So,
good.
So, it is our intention to not be attached to outcome about how long these podcasts run, these episodes. And so, thank you to listener Kathy, who asked us to talk about releasing attachment to outcomes. If you have topics you'd like us to talk about, email us, send us a note, use smoke signals, whatever you need to do to reach out to us.
Right. We have no attachment to outcomes because we don't know who's listening or who's not.
Yeah, that's so true.
We're just doing it because this is what helps us to process. And
we know it's helping others. Find my book out now on Amazon, Elevate Under Pressure, and follow Melissa's changes to her website and her new offerings. Things are really rolling forward and evolving is the word I'm looking for with us. And if you have any coaching needs you may need for your individuals, yourselves, for your teams, or for your corporate work, reach out to us. Let us know. We'll be happy to talk to you about that. And in the meantime, stay grounded and take care of each other. And don't forget to take care of yourself. We'll see you next time here on Rise and Thrive. Take good care. Bye now.
Thanks for tuning in to Rise and Thrive, a podcast by Vital Age Wellness Coaching. If you found this episode meaningful, please rate, review, and share it with someone who might need it. For upcoming retreats and to join the Vital Edge Wellness community, head to vitaledgewellnesscoaching.com. Let's rise and thrive together.